One thing that is extremely important when you're trying to get into your self-love or self-development journey is that you need to shut down the voices in your head that tell you that you're not enough. Like, you need to tell them that they are lying and you are actually somebody who can achieve everything that you want. I know how difficult it is to get rid of negative self-talk, but today we will be talking about it, and I hope by the end of this video you can actually get some tips that will help you. Assalamu alaikum everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Nida and I help people get into their self-love, self-development journey through sharing my writings, my experiences and everything between. So let's get started. I made a video about how to change your self-perception. The reason that I made that video was that I knew how important it is to have a positive self-image of yourself in order to actually get into your self-growth journey. Because to be honest, until and unless you believe in yourself, it does not matter even if the whole world believes in you. You will not be able to get where you have to or where you're supposed to or where you know that you can get. You will not be able to operate on your full potential if you are the person who is closest to you constantly tells that they are not enough and they are not capable of doing anything. And the things that we tell ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, plays a huge role in basically determining if we will ever be able to get what we want or if that we will become a better person or not. So here are 5 things that you can do to deal with negative self-talk and to basically reduce it or lower down that voice that tells you that you are not enough. Now, the most important thing that you have to do is, like, when you get a negative thought about yourself, for example, you're trying to do something, suddenly the voice in your head tells you that, you know what, you'll never be good at it because you're terrible right now. That is the time when you need to catch it and you need to name that thing. You need to separate yourself from that voice. You need to tell yourself that, okay, this is my inner critique and not me. We are 2 different persons and this is somebody who does not believe in me, but I will be someone who actually believes in me and I will prove it by doing everything that I ever want. Does not matter how good or bad I am at it. And trust me, it works every time, because when you're on your healing journey or like self-love journey, in the past 2 years, I have experienced this a lot. Whenever I try to criticize myself or try to talk me out into doing something that I know is important and will be beneficial for me in the future, I told myself that, you know what? I know it's hard and I know you think like that, but you know what? Let's try it. Let's do it. What is the most that will happen? I'll fail at it. That's it. The most important thing is to separate yourself from that inner critique. You need to tell yourself that this is not the person who I am. And this voice is not mine. It is just my inner critique trying to pull me down into past ways. Sometimes it is a conditioning. Sometimes it is people who have told us all our lives that we're not enough, that we can never do things, that we cannot complete the tasks. But trust me, when you start doing this, it actually works and you will be able to eventually get rid of that voice and you will be able to trust yourself more. And yes, it may take some time, but it will eventually happen. The second thing is talk to yourself like a friend, like somebody you love. Imagine that you have a very good friend. She or he is amazing at everything that they do, but they're always talking negative about themselves. How would you feel? You will think that, oh my God, this person is so amazing, but they think like that about themselves. That does not make sense. Now think that about yourselves too. That friend is talking bad about themselves. You will be kind to them. You will be compassionate with them. You'll be patient with them. That is exactly the thing that you need to do with yourself. You need to be compassionate and very patient with yourself. Trust me, you need to be as patient as you would with a kid who is trying to learn something new. Because that is what you're trying to do. You are also trying to learn something new, which is to get rid of the negative self-talk. So be compassionate with yourself. Talk to yourself with a friend. Maybe sit down and think, okay, why did I think that way? What were the conditions that made me think like that about myself? Maybe people around you have been telling you that, so that thing gets ingrained in your head, which is actually not true at all. So be kind to yourself, be very gentle with yourself. The third thing is, and this is very important, which is to ask for proof. Whenever you get a thought, a negative thought, saying that you cannot do that thing, you will never get selected for the job, you will never get selected into that university. Ask that voice, where's the proof? Show me the evidence where I failed completely, or if I fail, I did not learn something nice and it did not end up becoming something better for me. So you need to ask yourself, you need to constantly ask for proof. Usually the pattern is that negative self-talk crumbles when you start questioning it. When you ask yourself that, when you tell that voice that, show me the proof, give me the evidence, where it is, what have I done in the past that made you think like that, it will stop eventually. The fourth thing is to swap the script. So when that voice tells you, oh, I'm failing at it, I'm terrible at it, tell yourself that, you know what, I'm learning, I'm new to this, but I'm still learning and I will eventually get better. It is okay to fail this time. It is okay to be terrible at something new. You need to constantly reassure yourself. Self-reassurance can never beat reassurance from anybody else. And I say it from experience. Till the time you are convinced that you can do whatever you want, that you can get whatever you want, that you can grow how much you want to, no amount of reassurance from anybody will work, because you in your heart don't believe it. So you need to believe it. You need to believe in yourself so much that even if somebody else tells you something which is not true about yourself, you know that it is not true and you do not get affected at all. Fifth and the last thing is to thank that voice and to move on with your work. It happened with me a lot. When I was trying to do something new, when I was trying to learn something new, and basically trying anything new, I used to get this thought that, oh my god, we're scared, we cannot do this. We will be terrible at this. Constantly did was to tell my brain, thank you for warning me, thank you for telling me, thank you for your input. But you know what? This time I've got it. This time I know I can do this. I know I've got it. The thing is that you need to acknowledge that voice. You need to acknowledge that critique. You need to let that voice know that you hear it, that you actually listen to it. You don't have to act on it, okay? Sometimes the negative thoughts in our head only needs acknowledgement from ourselves. Sometimes that is the only way that they go away. And it happens with everybody. As soon as you realize that some of the things are in your head from such a long time and they need your acknowledgement, they will literally go away as soon as you do it. So don't try to just push that voice away, to silence it in an aggressive manner. Sometimes it will need reassurance, sometimes it will need confidence in yourself, sometimes it will need trust in yourself, but eventually you will get out of it. And yes, it will take time. I never say that things like these never take time. I always say that things like these always take time, especially if you have been disconnected from yourself from a long time. It might take some months, a few years, but eventually you will get back to yourself. In order to get rid of negative self-talk, reconnect with yourself, you need to change your perception of yourself. And I highly, highly recommend you to watch this video of mine so that you can do that. That is it for today's video. I hope that it helped you. I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if there's any other thing you want me to talk about. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe.